everybody, this is Kim. Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a little different than those I've done in the past. Basically, I just want to share my experience. I just got my first COVID vaccine. This was done a few days ago. I actually feel absolutely fine right now. I got my shot a few days ago, I guess is what I should say. I did have a sore arm. And I did have a slight headache the next day, but really that was it. I felt really just fine. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, there you go. First of all, I want to say I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional at all. I don't work in the medical field. I'm not a scientist. None of the following information is meant to replace any medical advice that you have received from actual medical practitioners. This information was gathered from my own research, from my own decision on which vaccine I would want for myself, or if I would even get the vaccine. I was on the fence. Anyways, since I did all the research, I decided to share it. Please do your due diligence and choose for yourself. There's a lot of information out there, so read it. Listen to your doctor. Listen to people you trust. I got the Pfizer vaccine. I really didn't care which one I was given. I was more interested in finding a vaccine location that was close to my home. There was really only one. All the others were in different cities. So it was funny because I really wasn't sure I was going to get the vaccine. Some parts of it make me a little nervous. But anyways, I kind of said, well, if I can get an appointment at the location in my city, I would go ahead and make the appointment and get the vaccine. So I went to the page where you go to make your appointment, and there was a lot of locations, and none of them were nearby. And there were appointments available at all the other locations. And then the one in my city didn't show any available. But I clicked on the link anyways, and I refreshed it, and voila, there was an appointment. So I grabbed it real quick. And I kind of felt like it was fate telling me that you should get this vaccine. So I did. So I took the appointment. I was able to actually schedule the first one and the second one at the same time, which was great. I don't think a lot of other people were able to do that. So anyways, my second vaccine will be administered exactly 21 days after the first one. So Pfizer, it's 21 days in between. Moderna, it's 28 days in between. And the Johnson & Johnson, you just get the one vaccine. I read something that they may have a booster for that one later. If I guess they're doing some studies to see if that increases the efficacy of it or not. So anyways, there's the information from that. Side effects. Like I said, the only side effect I had was a sore arm, and it really wasn't bad. The nurse told me, or whatever she was who gave me the vaccine, she told me to keep raising my arm up and moving it around and stuff, and I would have less soreness. And I think that worked because my arm really didn't hurt at all the first day. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was tender. I wouldn't really even call it sore, but it was tender. And then the next day, as I moved it around, it hurt a little bit, but it was not a big deal. I was able to raise up my arm. I heard from so many people that they weren't able to even wash their hair because they couldn't get their arm up high enough, but I didn't have that issue. I did have a slight headache the next day. Nothing terrible, just a little annoying. I was really nervous about feeling sick, but I was actually fine. From what I've read, most people have the terrible side effects after the second vaccine, so I have that to look forward to. I also heard that younger people are having worse side effects versus older people. So since I'm middle-aged, I expect to have middle-of-the-road side effects. I'll let you know. So What has changed for me since I got the vaccine? Okay, I've only had the one, but I'm not as worried to get COVID. I know I'm not fully vaccinated and still at risk, but just knowing that I'm in the middle of the process has really made me feel less vulnerable. If I do end up getting the virus, I don't think it will put me in the hospital. At least that's what they say. My stress level reduced because I'm not as worried. So when I'm going out, I'm not freaking out about as so like I didn't realize how stressed I was about it actually. So now when I'm out in public, I don't feel as nervous about people being around me. I am still wearing my mask and still socially distancing and still washing my hands like crazy, trying not to touch things. I'm still being very careful, but I don't feel as nervous about the whole situation. So, once again, I'm not a doctor or medical specialist, but I kind of wanted to share the differences of the vaccines that I've read. So, Pfizer, which is the one I got, uses the mRNA, the messenger RNA process. I'm not going to go into this, but it's authorized for people 16 and older, and there's 95% efficacy after 2 doses. The Moderna uses the same technology, the mRNA. It's authorized for 18 and older, and that one has 94.1% efficacy after 2 doses. The Johnson & Johnson, which is the third one that was approved, is a different process. It's viral vectored vaccine. Like I said, I'm not going into these things. It's authorized for 18 plus and 72% efficacy after 1 dose. So, what is efficacy? Well, supposedly, this is a good way to explain it right here. If a vaccine has 95% efficacy, such as the Pfizer COVID vaccine, that means that a fully immunized person has a 95% reduced risk of becoming ill compared with a similar unimmunized person. And supposedly the efficacy of all 3 vaccines is 100% against hospitalization and death. Severe illness, basically. So you could still get the virus with all 3 of them, but they say that you will not be hospitalized and die. So that's good. But the sample size for the trials was small in comparison to a worldwide population, and no long-term data is available yet. So we don't really know for sure. So, is efficacy all that matters when comparing vaccines? Not really, because the vaccines were not tested using the same groups of people or the same criteria. They were tested in different places and at different times. The virus has mutated, and the earlier vaccines may have not been tested against all the mutated versions. In fact, I don't think they have been. The Johnson & Johnson research shows that it was tested with a few different mutations, so their 72% efficacy rating might actually be more equal to the others if the other Moderna and the Pfizer were also tested against the same mutations. I don't know. And also, vaccines take time to work, and the time periods in which efficacy was measured differs between the various studies. So it's just, we don't really know for sure. Another thing I wanted to mention is the difference between efficacy and effectiveness. So efficacy is defined as the maximum response that can be achieved under ideal and controlled circumstances. Effectiveness refers to the performance under real-world conditions. I think it's just too early to know how effective the COVID vaccines will be. I'm hoping they're tremendously effective and that it helps us really get rid of this entire illness, or at least keep it at bay, or at least make it more of a disease that is just an inconvenience and not so deadly. Um, anyways, which vaccine should you get? Well, in my opinion, they're all great, and I would have accepted any of them. They all tout 100% efficacy against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. Any reduced risk is a good thing. The efficacy can vary between individuals depending on many different criteria. If you are concerned, please talk to your doctor. All of this information I have shared, I have gotten from medical sites on the internet. I am not a medical professional. I do not claim to be an expert at any of this. I researched online and I've shared what I found online. That's it. Do not take any of this as fact. This is only my take on what I read, and I just wanted to share it. Please talk to your doctors, your trusted medical professionals. This is just some background information I wanted to share, and I've hoped it has helped clear up something for you, and maybe made you think about something in a little bit different way. Whatever. Anyways, I'm glad that I got the first vaccine, and I'm excited to get the second one so that I will be protected. And I hope that all my loved ones and all my friends also get the vaccines. So anyways, that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.